What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? It's your old friend IndyCarTim here with the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz live at 7 a.m. Good Monday morning to you. Happy brand new week. We hope you had the weekend that you wanted to have. And if you wanted a good one, then we hope it was a good one. Welcome in to the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim, as I mentioned. Can't say that enough, though, probably, right? Lots of stories this week with the Cowboys that we're going to get into, and lots of things to discuss. Had some thoughts over the weekend, though. By the way, we hope you enjoyed a tremendous weekend of super wild card games. Like every game, I think, pretty much went down to the wire, final possession type stuff. And, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? Not any blowouts that I can recall at all. And I was by the channel watching pretty much all the football I could, along with some college basketball over the weekend. But lots of good stuff happening in the NFL playoffs. The Cowboys, obviously, are not one of the good things happening. Hopefully they will have that remedied before next week, because thought what we would talk about this morning. Crack open your coffee, sit back, and let's discuss Javonte running back Williams. As, you know, I like Javonte. I don't like that he wore number 33 this season. It's still weird for me to see number 33 running out of the backfield. And I know a lot of you young guys won't relate to that, but some of you less younger guys might remember a number 22 running out of the backfield here 30 years ago or so. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. But before there was a 22, there was a 33. And he's pretty good. His name was Tony Dorsett. Played for Pitt, won a Heisman. And it's just weird. I know the Cowboys have issued 33 a lot. I just don't recall it being issued to a wide or to a running back. And it's still kind of weird, man. I'm not going to lie. I like Javonte. I just don't like seeing number 3. And you know what? Yeah, it's been 50 years. Well, let's see. He retired. Tony Dorsett left the Cowboys in 85. He went to the Broncos in 86 before he retired. So it's been a long time. I get it. But it's still weird for us purists, us 70s kids that grew up with Roger and Drew and Tony and Butch Johnson, getting old man, good old days syndrome here with you. But let's talk a little bit about Javonte Williams. The Cowboys say they want Javonte back. Javonte says he wants to come back. And that sounds like a kind of like a feel-good offseason story until you remember that the Dallas Cowboys have never met a comfortable decision that they couldn't overpay into a full-blown crisis. And that's a fact, Jack. Because bringing Javonte Williams back could be smart, but it also could be the kind of move that looks and feels really good in March and then feels like a cap crime scene by Thanksgiving. And that's what we want to avoid here. So today we're going to break down why running it back at running back might be the most dangerous kind of complacency and why Dallas can't afford to pay for stability when what they actually need is explosiveness and flexibility. Before we get into it, though, we've got to make everybody feel good and feel happy to start your day with our dad joke. Today's dad joke comes to us from Matthew in Frisco. Matthew will get a hat because he sent me his address along with his dad joke, a FanStream Sports hat, just like this one. Don't know what color we're giving him yet, but we'll figure it out. And for everybody submitting your jokes, if you and expecting a hat, if you have already submitted it, I have it, and we've got them lined out here for you. Starting today, January 12th, we're running short on hats. Who would have figured, right? So we're going to do T-shirts instead. Give you guys some FanStream Sports T-shirts. We have assorted colors. So, you know, just instead of so send me your address. It's info@fanstreamsports.com. is where you send the joke, put dad joke in the subject line so it comes to me, and then still send me your address. But instead of getting a hat, I'll be sending y'all shirts, anything I receive after today, starting on January 12th on Monday. So apologize for that. Who would have thought we'd run out of hats? But, hey, you guys are really, really good, and I appreciate all of the participation in this. Matthew from Frisco says, I used to have a job at a calendar factory, but I got fired because I took a couple of days off. Took a couple of days off, you guys. And what's funny is I was sharing a couple of these with some coworkers that do other shows. And I guess not everybody gets the dad jokes. Because one guy from another state that works for our Fanstream Sports Ohio affiliate, I had to explain the joke 3 times. And he acted like he got it, but I'm not sure that he did. So if you're getting these, God, I love you guys so much. Y'all are so much fun. So much fun. But let's get into some Cowboys talk on a Monday morning, shall we? Look, here's the truth about Javonte Williams. He was good. He ran hard. He was physical. He was really good at protecting the passer, and that matters. He knows the system. He's reliable. Well, as reliable as any running back can be in 2025, 2026. And I'm hearing the same thing from Cowboys fans and even some national voices out there about Javonte in Dallas. And that's he's stability. And that, boys and girls, is the trap. Because stability in football talk, in position talk, especially at running back, is code for we don't want to think too hard about this position. It's comfortable. And Dallas can't afford that. Not when this offense is about to get more explosive and more expensive, hopefully. Not when you're talking about paying George Pickens top-tier money. And not when your defense needs a full-blown rehab assignment. So you don't pay premium dollars for stable at running back unless that running back is also changing games. And Javonte Williams, God love him, as solid as he is not a pay $10 million a year, $10 million a year type of game changer. He's just not. And the price tag for Javonte Williams will dictate whether the Cowboys should be interested. And it all depends on money and length. If Javonte is back on something like 2 years, $10 to $12 million total, you've got reasonable guarantees, you've got a clean exit on it after 2 years, that's workable. I am 100% in on that. But the bomb that was dropped that I see, market valuations have him around $9.5 million next year. I think the lowest estimate I saw was like 7.5, which is teetering on out of your price range. But 9.5? If Javonte's number gets anywhere near that, I'm out. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not negotiating it. I am just out. Let somebody else pay that, and they will, and they'll get that congrats, you overpaid for a running back trophy. The Cowboys don't need that trophy. They have plenty of those trophies already. Because at $10 million, your running back better be giving you explosive chunk plays, better have a high-end receiving value out of the backfield, better have game-breaking efficiency, and he needs to have health that you can count on. And even then, $10 million, that's a lot, y'all. And don't forget, again, I love Javonte, but as the season wore on, his performance tailed off just a little bit. That's not a character flaw. It's not a knock against him. That's just the position these days, for the most part. So the point here that Dallas always ignores, bring back the same exact offense, but now it costs more because the contracts are escalating. which means you're demanding more production from the same players because they're making more money. And in the NFL, that's how a team becomes just pretty good and also a team that can't win in January. You can't just pay to preserve what you have. You have to pay to upgrade what you were. Look at teams like Bill Belichick's New England Patriots. Look at the modern-day San Francisco 49ers, who just knocked off the Eagles yesterday. Thank God we don't have to watch the Eagles. Now we have to watch the 49ers. So those are teams that aren't afraid to let go of a guy who was good, but they think they have something better, especially when they think they have something better that's cheaper. And I don't know that Dallas has ever thought anything like that, ever, at any position group. So you ask yourself, if you keep the same running back, keep the same core pieces, and all the money goes up, where is this offensive leap coming from that you need? Because continuity doesn't automatically mean better. Sometimes it just means stale. And here's why you keep the number on Javonte Williams tight. It's because of the position that he plays. The running back position is very solvable. The core reality here is you can get functional running backs for cheap. The Cowboys did it with Javonte. You can draft them. You can rotate guys. You can build a room instead of crowning your $10 million king. Dallas has literally lived this lesson. They moved on from one guy, brought in Javonte at a very similar price, and it worked. Kind of tells you the truth, too, that this position is replaceable when you are disciplined, which I still question if the Cowboys are or not. So if the price for Javonte Williams climbs, again, past the, I'd put the ceiling on 6 a year for 2 years, about as much as I would pay. If it climbs to that, you have options. You can go find another cheap veteran, just like they did with Javonte. You can find someone in the draft. Aha. But the draft, you say, Cowboys barely have any picks this year past the first round. Yes, so that is somewhat true. The Cowboys have 2 picks, of course, in the first round. They have 12, and they have 20. And then the Cowboys don't have another pick until the 4th round. I hope I'm not breaking news to anybody, but Cowboys have no second or third round picks. You have 2 picks in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. So the fact that you have that number 20 pick from Green Bay, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about should the Cowboys potentially lose on purpose, the dirty T word that I'm not going to use on these airwaves. Anything past, and we'll see how it all plays out, but anything past, 13, 14 in the first round, they're pretty much a second rounder. Unless there's something special there. So why not take that number 20 pick, trade it to somebody else, and maybe get a second and a third, or a couple of thirds, preferably a second. Because then you've got some draft capital to go find you potentially a running back. And at that point, or there might be a decent running back at 20, although I hate to take one that high. That's just me. So the goal isn't to just keep Javonte here. The goal is to keep the offense dangerous without burning resources. And that's my philosophy on Javonte. Again, I'd love to see Javonte back. There's a lot of reasons why he makes perfect sense here. $10 million per season is not it. And at that point, you got to cut your losses and find the next Javonte. A reason I would hate to use a draft pick on something like that, though, it's kind of a catch-22 here. The defense needs so much work. You can't, but here's the issue is you cannot fix all of the defense in one offseason, in one draft. It's not going to happen. And that goal can change how you spend certain areas. And it's going to change who, if anyone, you want to draft on the offensive side of the ball. So if you're going to spend real money anywhere, it needs to be where it's going to move the needle for your team, for the production of your team, and that is not running back. Pass rush, linebacker, especially linebacker depth with Overshown's injury history, coverage help in the secondary, kind of depending on who you have at defensive coordinator at that point. But the running back spending has got to be controlled. Every dollar at running back is a dollar that you can't spend somewhere else to fix your real problems. So here's my stance. I'll bring back Javonte Williams, but only if the price stays in the Cowboys' smart money zone. I've said what that is. If he wants stability, great. Give him a fair deal with a short runway and some team flexibility. If he takes it, golden. If he wants $9-10 million a year, let somebody else pay it. Dallas doesn't need to run it back. Dallas needs to level up. And that's what I think about that. Oddly, I've never seen that movie. So you guys drop in the chat here in the YouTube at FanStream Sports or on the Fish Report YouTube channel. Tell me, what's the max you'd pay for Javonte right now? Would you rather draft a young running back at some point or sign a cheaper vet? And what's your draft priority this offseason? Is it running back, linebacker, edge, defensive back? And we'll talk about all of that tomorrow morning, potentially. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow morning, but I do know we're going to talk Cowboys because it is the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast, live 7 a.m. You guys think about things. Think the good thing for Javonte. Hopefully he's back at the right price. If not, we'll move on. And we'll talk some more Dallas Cowboys tomorrow, Tuesday, right here on FanStream Sports. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.